day everyone. We are now going to see the part 3 of morphology of flowering plants. As I said before, this will come under your week 3 NEET 2025 self-study preparation. So in the week 3, we are dealing with morphology of flowering plants, laws of motion and chemical bonding. Okay. So in part 1 and part 2, what are the things we have discussed? Let's recall it quickly so it will be easier for you. We have discussed about root. What are the different types of root? The taproot, fibrous root and adventitia root, and what are the examples for them and what are the primary functions of the root we discussed. Also we discussed about the primary parts of the plant, right, in the part 1. Then in the part 2 we discussed what are the modifications seen in the root and also some examples for them along with the trick. Then we saw what are the regions of the root, the 4 regions we discussed in detail. So hope you are able to now recall everything. Now we will move on to the part 3 and deal with your stem. Okay, now what is your stem? As we discussed earlier, this is the seed. Okay, in the seed, so these are the basic details we will cover which you already know, so it will be easier for you to connect to the thing which we are going to study. Okay, firstly we will have a normal discussion. So we know this is a seed and there is one part which is plumule, the second part which is radicle. From plumule's shoot or stem will be there, from radical root will be there. Okay, now we already discussed about root, so now we are only now concentrating on the stem part. Okay, so this will come from your shoot, that is your plumule, right? Now in the stem, what are the things we usually noticed? Okay, when the seed is like a budding, okay, just now it is budding, we will see the stem is very green. Am I right? It will be very thin and like a light greenish color it will have. But once the seed, the plant has started growing and after some maturation, how it will be? It will become very thick brown color, right? In the trees we could say the thin, the stem becoming very woody and brown color, right? So these are some normal observation we have seen our stem, and you should be noticing in the stem only we do have many major parts, important parts of the plant. What we will have? We will have our flower, fruit, leaves, branches are arising out of the stem. All this we have noticed, right? So these are some basic details we have noticed. Now even in your NCERT the same things are given. Let's discuss about stem. Okay, now let's say this is the ascending part of the axis. True, right? So this, the above part is the ascending part, this we could say as the descending part. So the stem will be coming from the ascending part of the axis and it will be bearing, what are the things it will bear? A bud, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, right? It will be bearing all this thing and it is coming from your plumule, that also we have discussed. Now the stem will be having nodes and internodes. Okay, in the part 1 video, in the primary structure itself, we have seen what is a node and internode. Like, should recall, let's say this is a stem. We do have leaves coming from here, here, right? So this part where the leaf is arising or a bud is arising, we could say this is a node. Okay, now the next part the leaf is arising here is also node. The distance between them is called as your internode. Are we clear what is node and internode? These place where the bud is coming out are called as node. The distance between two nodes are called as your internode. Done? Now it bears bud, that is obvious, right? Then the stem will become green to woody. Yes, in the starting when it is a germinating time, it will be like a lightish green color. But once it is matured, it will become hard and woody. Why it is becoming like that? Let's say if I am a person, I will go sit in someone who is very younger than me. Will the person able to bear me? No, because they are not strong enough to bear all my weight, right? Likewise, when once the plant is becoming matured, it will have bud, leaf, seed, flower, fruit, so many branches, right? So it should have the strong strength like a gem body it should be. So it is becoming a woody structure, okay? So that it can bear everything without any issues and it will have a healthy life, right? So I could say this stem is a platform for all these parts, right? So only this is bearing all the plants with the help of its branches growing here and there. So now we are clear with the stem, right? Now let's see what are the basic functions of the stem. So the basic functions would be to spread out. Obviously just now we saw it will be spread out as a branches, and in each and every branches we could see many parts of the plant, that is your leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. Okay, so to spread out is the first function we could say. Now conduction. So from root it will be absorbing the water, right? This root part will be absorbing the water. Then the absorbed water should distribute to all the parts of the plants. Who will do that? Our stem will do that. Okay, this is like a common pathway to reach all the parts of the plants, because everything require H2O. So this stem part will be giving what it will do, like conduct water to every parts of the, if you want take it, if you want take it, likewise it will conduct the water, minerals, or some photosynthetates also. Okay, photosynthesis nothing but which have the capability to involve in the photosynthesis. Okay, so this will be involving in conduction. Then it will also give food, support, protection, and also vegetative propagation. So what is this vegetative propagation? Let's say this is one part. In this plant, this is your root and this is your stem, okay, shoot part. If you just cut this single part and plant it again, this will have the capability to regrow as a whole plant containing all your fruits, flowers, and so on and so on. Okay, so this is called as your vegetative propagation. This is your stem will be involved in this, the ability of the plant to regenerate the whole plant from a single part, I could say. Okay, so are we clear with the functions of the stem? To spread out, conduct, food, give the food, obviously photosynthesis will happen, supporting the plant, okay, protection and vegetative propagation. So we have discussed the basic details of stem and what are the functions. Okay, now we will move on to the modification of stem. Even in root we do have modifications, right? So what I say, what modification mean? Modification mean change in the structure and shape of the particular part which will do functions other than the normal functions, right? Let's say these are the normal functions of the stem. Now this modification help them to do some other different functions. Okay, now we will start with the first one. Firstly, the underground stem. Okay, we do have underground stem seen in these plants. So what will they do? These underground stems are modified to store food. Okay, store food, simple it is. Okay, so the underground stem seen in these plants will be help them to store food. So what are these plants? How to memorize them? Here is a trick. Okay, so firstly, underground stem in, okay, UG PG teachers Samico. Okay, in a college there will be some UG classes going on, PG classes going on. For everything there is one common teacher. Her name is Samiko. Stylish, no? So UG PG teacher Zamiko. So what is the short trick for that? Yeah. So UG means your underground. Okay, so this we are dealing with underground. So UG. Then PG means your potato and ginger. Okay. Then teacher is for your turmeric. Then comes your Zamiko. In Zamiko, this first word Zami is for Zamican and Co is for Colocasia. Any doubt how to memorize this trick? It's simple, no? All the tricks are already there in the description. Here I have given only few tricks, okay? Because if we discuss the trick, we are unable to cover the main portions, right? So tricks I have already given separately. Here only few tricks I have given. So you can go and watch that. Here we will discuss on the detail what is their modifications, okay? So trick you can learn separately also. So the trick for underground stem which are able to store the food are given by your UG, PG teacher Zamiko and their respective plants. Now you know, right? Now we will move on to the next one, perennation. That means in sometimes in harsh places, okay, this stem will be acts as an organ of perennation, okay, so that even in the unfavorable conditions, okay, unfavorable condition I could say, if a plant needs water, it is like out of water or no O2, so these are called as your unfavorable conditions, right? So in such cases, in the harsh cases or unfavorable conditions, your stem will act as an organ of perennation to save that plant, okay, to overcome the condition it will be helping, right? Now we will talk about the tendrils. So in axillary buds, okay, some of the axillary buds, what will it do, no? it will be coiled around. What is coiling around? Like this. This you have seen in many, right? You could have noticed. Like this, the stem will be there, not like this, okay? These stems will be becoming like this, okay? Like spirally coiled it will be, and helps the plants to climb, okay? Let's say this is some part, it will be climbing in this, right? The stem will become like this. So these kind of modification is called as your tendrils, okay? Where can you see this tendrils? Usually we can see in the gourds. So whenever we say gourds, you should recall the structure, right? So all this maximum will have this kind of tendril structure. Also in the grapevine, okay? So the example for the tendril also I have mentioned. So what are the examples given in our NCERT? Cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, grapevine. How to remember that? 10 cool people want game. So we should be cool, we should not be tense, right? Whenever we are like doing something. So people who are cool. So 10 cool people want the game. So what is 10? 10 is for tendril, cool is for cucumber, people is for pumpkin, want is for your watermelon, game is for grapevine. So easy, right? Now you should have memorized the what are the example of tendrils, and now you know what is tendrils. Okay, now we have talked about tendrils. Now in some axillary buds of stems, they will also modified as thorn, okay? Here it is tendril now, but they also modified into thorn. What is thorn? Yep, sharp wood, okay, woody pointed structure. Like this you might have seen, okay? This kind of structure, why this kind of structure is there? To protect the plant, okay, from the animals. Okay, if there is a sharpy thorn, the animals don't go and eat the plant, right? So this kind of structure is seen in some plants which are helping them to protect the plants. Also these are sharp, woody and pointed. So the examples will be bougainvillea and citrus. You can simply remember busy Thor. Thor, everyone know. Thor is always busy, okay? So busy Thor. This means B is for bougainvillea, C is for citrus, Thor is for your thorn, okay? Any doubt? Now we will move on to the next one, okay? This is really important. Questions are coming from this part. Photosynthesis. So what will happen, no? In some plants, like when they are growing in some arid region, they will be modifying their stem into two types, okay? One is flat, one is cylindrical. This is really important, listen, okay? So flat and cylindrical, whenever it is flat, the plant is Optunia. The cylindrical modification seen in Euphorbia. You should not be confused, okay? So flat, Optunia, cylindrical, Euphorbia. You can think as flat offer. So flat O, okay? Flat is for Optunia, because this will be a tricky question. Excuse me. So flat, Optunia, cylindrical, Euphorbia, cylindrical, and it will be fleshy also. So this will be modified, and these structures will have your chlorophylls, okay? So whenever we say photosynthesis, obviously chlorophyll is the essential, right? So these modified parts will have your chlorophyll and they perform photosynthesis. So this is one such modification of stem. Are we clear? Next one, regeneration, okay? In some plants, whenever any part of the stem it cut out, it will be able to regenerate. Let's say there is a grass, the animal will come and graze it out and this part will grow, right? But it will again regrow. This is the capacity of your regeneration, and this kind of capacity is seen in some of the stems, which is your strawberry and grasses, okay? So these plants usually move to your new niches, that is places, and when the old parts are died, they form a new part, obviously. So these have the ability to grow faster, right? And it will spread out easily to many places also. So these are your examples of regeneration seen in your strawberry and grasses, okay? Stems of strawberry and grasses. Now we will talk about mint and jasmine, okay? So in mint and jasmine, just see this picture, you will be understand what will happen. No, there is one main axis. Let's say this is your main axis. From the main axis, one lateral branch will be coming out. Let's say this is your lateral branch. Initially it will be growing aerially only. Aerially means above the underground, okay? But laterally what will happen, it will go inside the ground. You can see, no, with this picture itself, this is the main axis, a lateral branch is coming. Initially it is coming upwards aerially, but after some certain stage it will go into the ground. This kind of modification is seen in your mint and in your jasmine. Okay. Any doubt? With this picture itself you can memorize. So whenever the question asks like when the lateral branch will be arcing down after some time, the answer will be mint and jasmine. Now we will talk about Pistia and Echicornea. Okay, here again we have a main branch, again we have a lateral branch. Okay, all these, the last three example will have this. So main branch and then the lateral branch. Here there will be short internodes. Firstly, what are internodes? The distance between two nodes. Okay, so the distance between two nodes in this kind of plants will be very short. Okay, so in case of Pistia and Echicornea, there will be a main branch and there will be a lateral branch. In the lateral branch, the distance between two internodes are short and they will be having a rosette of leaves. Okay, and a tuft of roots. So it is nothing but like this. Tuft of roots is seen in your lateral branch. Okay, so in case of Pistia and Echicornea, what is going to be there? Main axis and lateral branch. In lateral branch, the internode is very short and it will have a rosette of leaves and tuft of roots. So it is seen in your these two. Okay. Now comes under your last example. This is nothing but your very easy PGB. That is your subjects, right? Biology, chemistry and physics. So what are they? Banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum. Okay, here also if you could see, this is what is this main axis, what is this your lateral branch, right? Here what will happen, no, this will come, this lateral branch will initially grow under like in the basal part, underground part. Okay, but after some time the main stem will start growing aerially. Okay, then it will start giving your leafy shoots. Are we clear? See, these two are like a little opposite. Initially what is happening in the mint and jasmine, we notice that there will be main branch and a lateral branch coming out, right? This lateral branch will initially grow aerially, then it will go into the ground. But in case of our pineapple, chrysanthemum and banana, this lateral branch will initially grow in your underground only. But once it comes up, it will be like giving the leafy shoots. Okay, the main axis will start under the leafy shoots. So this is firstly growing under the ground, then it is coming up. Okay, so now we will quickly revise the whole stem. Okay, so firstly we saw the stem is the main part and it is the ascending part of the axis. It will come from the plumule. It has nodes and internodes as we see here. Obviously it will bear buds and it is green, and once it is matured it will become woody and dark brown, right? So what are the some functions we saw? It will be spreading out so that it will bear branches, and in the every branch we could see leaf, flowers and fruits. Then the conduction we have shown, then food support production and vegetative propagation. Then we saw there are some modifications of the stem. What are they? The underground modification, which is seen in your UGPG teacher's Zamico. Then perennation, this will happen in your harsh unfavorable condition. Then tendrils. Tendrils are nothing but a spirally coiled structure which are seen in your gourds and grapevine, and the examples are here. Then there are some axillary buds which also modified as thorn to protect the plant, right? So these will be sharp and woody pointed, and the example is busy. So now photosynthesis. In some arid region, what will happen? The plant will be modified to flat, or the plant will be modified, the stem will be modified to cylindrical and fleshy. So if it is flat, it is seen in Optinia. The cylindrical is seen in your Euphorbia, and they have the chlorophyll and perform the photosynthesis. Then we saw about the regeneration capacity in strawberry and grasses and mint and jasmine. Here the lateral branch will initially grow aerially, then it will go to underground. Now in case of Pistia and Echicornea, what we saw, there will be rosette of leaves and tufts of root. At last we see in PCB, initially the lateral branch will grow underground, then it will become as a main stem and it will have leafy shoots, right? Any doubts in stem? As I said earlier, after every topic we will be revising the questions from them, so it will be easier for you. Now pause this video and try to comment out all the answers down. I will be discussing it now. Now the first question will be potato and ginger are examples of. Just now we discussed. So these are the examples of underground stem which store the food. Okay. PG. Now tendrils are seen in. Tendrils are seen in which plants? We have the, in general it is seen in gourds and grapevine. The examples will be this: cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon and grapevine. Now axillary bud bearing sharp woody structure. What it is called as? Thorn, right? Whenever it is sharp and woody, it is nothing but your thorn. Then rosette of leaves are seen in, it was Pistia and Echicornia. We saw it is having short internode, it had rosette of leaves and tuft of roots. Now, capability to regenerate. What are the examples of this? So, your strawberry and grass we see, right? It will be able to regenerate from the old part. Now, some arid region plants modify into cylindrical structure. Now, see, now this is the confusion happen. Obviously this photosynthesis modification is happening in the arid region we saw, but it is, they are asking into cylindrical. Okay, you should not saying the word, you should not optinia or euphorbia, you will be confused. So as I said, flat offer, so flat means optinia, so cylindrical means euphorbia. So the answer is euphorbia. Hope this structure is helpful for you. If you think so, please let me know, like in the comments. If you want any improvements also, let me know. Also please like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Also most importantly, revise it, okay, along with your NCERT, so it will be very easier for you. We'll see you in the next video.